Good morning and welcome to day 4 of NAB and the Grass Valley booth. We're going to talk with Matt Zychek. He is the product manager for the Live Touch replay system. So Matt, you've been involved with Live Touch for some time now. Tell us what makes Live Touch replay unique.
Yeah, sure. So I've been involved with Live Touch, I guess, since the beginning, and it's been a good ride. The Live Touch, what makes Live Touch unique is it's not only sports highlights and instant replay and SloMo, it's more of a complete workflow. So we have an integrated editor, we have a tight tie-in with our social media workflows, things like that. So operators are able to, expand just the sports highlight set to more of a wider production environment.
So what have you got new with Live Touch here at NAB?
Sure, yeah. So for Live Touch NAB, we're showing UHD, we're showing HDR, we're showing super slow compatibility with the LDX, and we're showing quite a bit of new clip metadata capabilities, so player name, team rosters, things like that, and getting that data not only working in the system, but exported with assets through the production cycle.
And you're seeing these advanced technologies such as 4K and high frame rate with regard to sports, and so how does Live Touch handle that for the operator who's trying to, sell their package to a director?
Yeah, sure. Well, the operator, I guess, what's more important is nothing's different for the operator. They get to work as usual. We have the high horsepower output for the 4K HDR, but to them, they don't have to worry about that. They, work with their content as they always would. For the super slow stuff, we have keyframeable speed profiles, things like that can be saved on a local station or throughout the entire production facility, so people can share profiles, presets, things like that, and they can do it quickly and easily.
So here's a blunt and honest question here.
Yeah.
So Grass Valley obviously also had the K2 Dyno replay system.
Sure.
There are the EVS replay systems. What's the learning curve for an operator who's never touched a Live Touch control system before?
We've had quite a lot of good feedback there. We've developed the feature set and the interface to be familiar for an EVS operator or a dyno operator or whoever it is. So we've had a lot of scenarios where operators will sit down in the morning, spend 2 or 3 hours on the box, and then they'll be ready to go in the afternoon. So it's a really quick uptake on the feature set and the product as a whole.
So sports, obviously the main application for Live Touch, but give us some idea of other applications where Live Touch is benefiting our customers.
Yeah, so we do a lot of sports, we do a lot of highlights, but there's playback, traditional tape workflows, pretty much on everything you see on the screen. So entertainment, you're Dancing with the Stars, these kind of shows all have playback, they all have SloMo. We're getting more and more into eSports, which we'll probably touch on later, so it's not your traditional sports programs, but more of a digital livery and focusing on video games, competitions, things like that. So yeah, we have a lot of systems all over the place doing a lot of different things.
Give us some more idea of where Live Touch is being used. I mean, obviously, as we said, sports, and it's funny that we've gotten replay and SloMo in entertainment programming and things that you'd never expect it to be in.
Yeah, sure. Yes, we have a growing customer base. One of our first customers was Fox Sports here in the States, in Los Angeles. DirecTV uses Live Touch. One of our bigger, more high-profile customers as of last year was Formula One, so all of their replay SloMo comes out of a bunch of Live Touch, and we've had a good relationship with them. So yeah, we're excited, growing customer base, keeping us busy.
So what's on the product roadmap? What's next for Live Touch?
Yeah, we're going to continue enhancing the UHD, HDR workflows. What's a big focal point for us and all around the industry is moving towards these remote production models. So whether it's feeding camera feeds back to a centralized production hub where a bank of Live Touches can handle multiple productions simultaneously, or taking a Live Touch controller away from the server and just using the network connection to have operators a little more flexible on location, save companies money on travel and things like that. So that's a big focus for us going forward.
So you mentioned e-games, so let's, so for those of you who don't know, e-games is basically gaming, like video games, and it's competition. So how do you use replay in something that is basically electronically based in the first place?
Yeah, it's interesting. So we've worked on a few of these projects. It's huge. So the audience for eSports is much larger than traditional sports, and there's a lot of people that are interested in watching it, watching other people play it, which I didn't understand at first, but they do make some exciting programs. So huge tournaments. You get the player reaction shots, obviously, but most of what you see is the output of the gaming device. So you'll have whether it's FIFA or Call of Duty, they'll have the screen there, and you get to see all the good action on SloMo instant replay. You get the player reaction. Obviously it's a kind of like a traditional production. So you have your intro packages, team analysis, things like that.
And I guess for that demographic, which obviously when you say why would you use replay in e-games, not my demographic, not your demographic, but for that demographic and they do it in front of an audience. I mean, this is real sports done in a way that we would never have think sports possible. It would almost be like, a pinball competition or an arcade game competition. When an audience can see a slow motion replay of something that's happened in a game, what kind of reaction does that develop into?
I mean, it's crazy. As I said before, we've worked with events that they sell out the Staples Center. There are thousands of people that are tuning in to watch this, and people get really into it. And it's I guess traditional sports, you watch it, you're into it, but there's a bit of a detachment from you and what's actually happening on the court. Whereas these guys and girls are playing video games every day, and they want to watch other people that are at the top of their game and learn things from them and keep it going. So yeah, it's exciting to watch. It's exciting to be involved in for Live Touch.
Great. So thank you, Matt, for being with us. Thank you for joining us here on the last day at NAB 2018 from the Grass Valley booth.